Salvador. Join me as I explore the cityscape.
Despite coming from a family of artists, visiting an art gallery is something new for Barbie. So going to vMeme makes her excited and anxious at the same time.
Talk about the Fragmentos, right? I understand it took a while to put up the show.
We started doing projects with Mr. Francisco Verano since last year, but it was not a solo show yet. And he hasn't done a solo show in 14 years. And we saw that there's a lot of complementary things going along with our practice and his practice. And Mr. Verano is very eager to share what he knows, what he has as an artist. So we tried to put up a show for his quote-unquote comeback.
I know he's a seasoned artist. His medium is normally painting, is that right?
He's most famous with his sculptures. We read him in books, in art history books, talking about how he used indigenous materials in his sculptures. But he is also prolific in painting.
To be readily available to art students and aficionados, Fragmentos opened last June 20th and will be open until the 26th of July.
We feel that the show is really important in the art historical perspective because we have old pieces, very important pieces, and the abstract works of Sir Verano are also figure into Philippine art. So we feel like the timing should be when the school begins.
Art appreciation 101. How do you look at this piece? It's like 360, no? What's so special about this?
Aside from the history behind it, I see that you can appreciate it from different parts, and also that despite being very structural, the piece actually reminds us of the Filipino culture. That we actually allot meanings into certain objects, for them to become idols, and that has been a part of our culture.
The oldest piece in the entire collection is the Stone Idol, an adobe sculpture which won first prize in the Art Association of the Philippines back in 1959.
These are bamboo sculptures. The title of this one is The Object Within. The Object Within. Actually, Mr. Verano is very famous for his Bamboo Fugue series, housed in the National Commission for Culture and the Arts and the Cultural Center of the Philippines.
How long has he been doing bamboo sculptures?
Since early 70s.
Early 70s. But this particular one are from this year?
Yes, he made it
Specifically for this show.
because he knows that a lot of people are looking forward to see more of his bamboo works. And he's the first Filipino to incorporate bamboo into his sculpture.
Wow.
In art history, we also acknowledge the fact that sometimes the medium is the message.
Right.
Using the medium of bamboo is actually going back to your roots as Filipino. These 4 paintings are part of the recent abstract paintings of Sir Verano.
Right.
We see here that he really just expressed himself. Well, according to him, in the mind of the artist, there are fragments.
Right.
And then he says that this now is the time when the fragments inside his mind are forming into one concept.
So that's why it's called Fragmentos.
Yes.
This is more of the abstract paintings as well.
The fact this piece is the biggest one. That's actually my favorite because of the color. It's not easy to put several colors in one painting and for it not to look like a rainbow. It really has, it requires a certain skill. I really feel like these talks about the sun. All the more because there is a circle in the lower part and I feel like it's a blurred vignette of sunset or sunrise. make an artwork with limited colors. To take out the colors, mostly black and whites and a little yellow.
The way you see this, it's kind of like a cityscape.
Actually, yeah.
Right? Yes, piece. It's our show's title. Cityscape. There's an outline of the buildings, and it's like seeing them from afar.
These three pieces are made of madre cacao. So,
Madre cacao.
yes, and the title of this one is Mother and Child.
Right.
This one is man, and this one is woman. So you see that they're figurative, but mainly very abstract figurations.
How is this different from the other ones that we've seen?
You see that these are the ones using bold colors. So it's so much different with the other pieces in the other room because they're lively and the colors are very vivid. When he was talking about these works, he went back to when he was still in college.
Right.
He says that Sobel and also Hoya influenced his early works. He actually had that heart for abstract already when he sat into lectures by these artists. And he was telling us that artists did not be afraid to admit that they are influenced by certain artists. Because actually, we do not exist in a vacuum. We also have to acknowledge the fact that we are a community.
Right.
And when we are influenced by other artists, it actually helps us grow.
That's true, and I think that takes wisdom also on his
Yes.
part to say that and encourage people to admit that, because normally artists like to be original, very original, that they wouldn't want to acknowledge their certain inspirations.
And also, these abstract pieces are not just bursts of color. They speak certain things. Each of them speaks certain things. And we know that the sense of contemporary art to make meanings and actually experiment in these meanings that actually help the society learn a different perspective of looking at things.
Particularly thought I wouldn't fit well here in this art gallery. But I actually would say that I'm more cultured now. No, I'm just kidding. But I really like the fact that we can do art appreciation and veer away from the usual pop culture of seeing the Hollywood movies and what.